Hi, I'm Robert Ring with OS Training, and we're going to learn how to set up an online store with Ecwid from start to finish. Ecwid is a shopping cart platform that provides a fully featured interface for creating a store complete with products, product categories, payment integration, transaction handling, and everything else you need to get an e-commerce store up and running. It's also designed to be very easy to create and implement even if you are not technically inclined. So let's get started by taking a look at the process of adding products and product information to our Ecwid store. If we go to Catalog and Products, we'll see a list of sample products that were given right off the bat by default. Your list may be slightly different from mine, but you can click on any one of these things and kind of get a look for sort of what the back end of our Ecwid store looks like. This is where we input information. So we have the title of this product here, we have a SKU, we have price, we have some information that's not relevant, so it's not included here. And of course, we have a full description, we have availability, etc. If we go back, you'll see that we can get rid of any of these in a number of ways. We can simply disable them. And if we want to permanently delete something, like you'll probably eventually want to do for these sample products, you can click over here on this drop-down arrow and simply click Delete Product. Now, before you delete anything, always keep in mind that when you delete something as opposed to disabling it, it's gone entirely. And the only way to ever get it back is to recreate it from scratch in your Ecwid store. So anytime you do this, be 100% sure that you really want to get rid of that and you don't think you're going to need it again. In this case, we're not going to need the sample product, so I'll click yes, and you'll see that it's gone now from my store. I'll probably do the same with the rest of these later, but I'm not going to spend your time doing that, but you'll probably eventually want to get rid of most of these, maybe keep one or two on hand for reference so you can kind of click on it, see what type of options are available. But for our purposes, we're going to be running a store that is essentially a dessert store. We're going to say that our store sells chocolates and candy. And now before we start adding products, what we want to do is start configuring the way that we're going to input the information for those products, because there's more that we can do than simply provide the name and description. Let's take a look. We're going to scroll down to Settings, and under Settings, we're going to click Product Types. And here we can kind of tell our store what types of products we're going to have, and each of those types of products may ask us for different pieces of information. You'll see by default we have the general type, and this has UPC. So when we create a product of the general type, we can input a UPC, we can input a brand, and displayed name is simply what this says to customers. So the UPC field for customers is going to read UPC. The brand field, when the customer sees it, is also going to say brand. And in most cases, these will be the same name and displayed name, but sometimes you might want the displayed name that the customers see to be slightly different from what you see internally. That's the reason for that. Notice down here, we can add new attributes. So we'll do that in a second on some of our custom product types. But it's very easy just to add another, essentially a field for when you're adding new products to your store. So instead of playing around with the general type, let's add a new product type. So we'll click the Add New Product Type button. And this is going to be a food, beverages, and tobacco product type, because again, we're running a dessert store. Click Food Items. And candy and chocolate, perfect. We'll add that. And here, we can change the name of this by clicking Change. And in our store, since it is a dessert store, candy and chocolate are sort of going to be their own separate, discrete product types. So first, let's just delete candy and just leave chocolate. Apply, and notice that's changed in the sidebar over here once we've clicked Apply. We're going to keep UPC and brand. And we're going to add a few things. First, we'll add type of chocolate, making sure we spell it correctly. And over here, notice, we can decide whether we want to show this to the customer or not. The reason you might not want to show some things is if you have something that's purely for internal use. But all of the attributes that we're going to be adding, we do want the customer to see, so we're going to leave it as show. And then we're also down here going to add another attribute, allergy information. This will include information regarding whether it has nuts or dairy or things like that. So we fill in these two new custom attributes, and we can click Add New to add another one, because we want to add one more thing, whether or not this product is organic. So we can do organic with a question mark, and then maybe when we're filling in the information, we can write yes or no. Once you're done creating your attributes, we can go ahead and add a new product type, but before we go any further, it's always safe to just go ahead and save. So click the Save button on the top right. Just in case something happens, you don't want to lose all the work that you've done so far. So here's our chocolate product type, and then we're going to click Add New Product Type again. Food, beverage, tobacco, food items, candy, and chocolate. Click Add Candy and Chocolate, and this time we're going to stick with candy. So make sure that just says candy type and click Apply. And once again, we're going to keep the defaults. We're going to add sugar-free with a question mark and a sold by field, which is going to indicate whether this candy product is sold by weight or count or whatever it may be. Usually it'll just be one of those, count or weight. If it was the M&M store, for instance, M&M, they're ordering, maybe 1 pound of M&Ms or 1 ounce of M&Ms as opposed to one single M&M, for instance. That's what we're going to add for the candy attributes, so we'll click Save again. Now we're not going to create any products quite yet. We'll do that shortly. But for now, let's just look at how these product types are going to come into play once we start creating products. So we're going to go back up to Catalog, Products, and we can click on any of these sample products. And if you've already deleted yours, then feel free to go ahead and click Add New Product if you want. And notice at the top, we have this Attributes tab. We're going to click that. And we have the two attribute options, UPC and brand, and we can fill those in. Or, look up here, we have Change Type. This is going to give us access to all of the different product types that we've created. So we have chocolate and candy, and notice when we select one, it gives us those extra fields. And this is information that the customer will see if we fill it in. One thing to be aware of, if there's a field that we leave blank, then that field will just not show at all to the customer. So you don't have to worry about having an awkward looking page that says maybe type of chocolate and then it doesn't have anything, or allergy information with a blank. If you don't fill anything in, it simply won't say allergy information, and it'll only show the attributes that you do have some sort of information for. So now we're going to back up. Don't worry about saving. But if we did want to save, we could always go back and reselect general. Just to know that you always have that option to go back and change it. But we're just going to go back for now. We'll leave this page. Obviously, there will be more configuration to come. But now, by creating some product types, we've taken the first step to preparing our store for the products that we'll be selling.